AITA for walking out of the restaurant over a joke between my fiancé and his friend? IF 30 used to work as a sex worker in my early to mid-20s. Not so proud of it, but I had no choice. I had to get money to be able to keep my siblings and myself from homelessness. I met my fiancé Martin M32 over a year ago. He knows every single detail about my life and every day tells me he loves me no matter what. His family are literally saints, so I kind of hit the jackpot in the in-laws department. However, his friends, not so much. Some of them make comments about my past and throw in some words that I find rather offensive, but I thought to myself, girl, you just being too sensitive. Just let it go. Last week we went out to the restaurant to celebrate Martin's birthday with his friends and family. One of his closest friends, Antonio, has a habit of making nasty jokes and laughing publicly. Martin was talking to his friends while I was talking to my mother-in-law talking. Antonio looked around and praised the restaurant and the atmosphere for the party. Martin nodded after Antonio told him he's lucky he got all that for his birthday, then complained about not having family to celebrate his upcoming birthday. He then told Martin, perhaps I can borrow my name for some BJ on my upcoming birthday. I was appalled. But when I turned to see how Martin whoopedy react, Martin just laughed and said, ha ha ha, well, how much are you willing to pay? Quote, I froze. Now I might have overreacted, but I had a terrible look on my face as I looked at Martin. Then I got up, gathered my stuff including the gift I got him, then started making my way out. My in-laws noticed and I could hear Martin yelling after me. He followed me outside begging me to wait, but I kept walking. He said it was just a joke between him and his buddy and I was overreacting for no reason at all. I started arguing with him about how he was not only okay with his buddy humiliating me but playing along in his god-awful joke. He insisted I overreacted and was being oversensitive. I got into a taxi and went home. After he came back, he started complaining about how I embarrassed him and ruined the celebration by walking out. I reminded him of what he did and he said it was just a joke. And the only one who has an issue with my past is me, and I should seek therapy for being too sensitive all the damn time. NTA. Honestly, that is horrible, and him telling you to seek therapy because you're too sensitive. Nope. Although you may need therapy from all the gaslighting and emotional manipulation. To me, there's two problems here. 1. He is aware that you aren't comfortable discussing your history, and yet he allows his friends to talk to you that way and joins in joking when you have made it clear that you're uncomfortable. Incidentally, how do his friends know? Because if he told them all this even though it's a sensitive topic for you. 2. He sees you as something for him to put a price tag on. Even if he was joking. Even if you were okay with these jokes. He didn't even go with, you couldn't afford her, or, in your dreams. No. It was, how much are you willing to pay? As if he would be the one benefiting from this make-believe exchange. Honestly, everything about this proves he doesn't see your feelings and experiences as valid. You said this isn't a once-off, and he clearly is brushing you off instead of acknowledging your feelings. You are not less than him because if your history are sensitive, because he's continuously discounting your feelings and allowing his friends to treat you like that. NTA. Remember the scene in Pretty Women where Richard Gere punched Jason Alexander since he disrespected a sex worker? You are a former sex worker, and I think that would have been the only acceptable response from your fiancé. Him accepting your past doesn't allow him to make lewd jokes at your expense. NTA. OMG. I would not have been so calm when I got up and left. Question. Did you tell Antonio and the rest of Martin's friends about your past, or did Martin tell them? Girl, you are not being too sensitive. People have no right to make comments. Never mind jokes about you and your past. Martin should have put a stop to that immediately the first time it ever happened. Honestly, it sounds to me like he's proud of your past and is using that to gain extra points with his friends. If his friends are that comfortable making jokes in mixed company and in front of his parents about renting you for BJ's, Lord knows what they say privately when you're not around. This would be a deal breaker for me, and I would break up with him. NTA. Hun. You have only known him a couple of years and the honeymoon is over. This is him showing you how he actually thinks. To your face he says he's fine with your past to his friends. He's willing to joke about taking money in exchange for you. Basically he's willing to joke about pimping you out. Run. ETA. Don't be ashamed of your past. You are a strong, capable woman who doesn't take any BS, and your past made you that woman. Honestly, sex work is stigmatized and it shouldn't be. You sold your labor just like anyone does. Be proud of who you are. NTA. You opened yourself up to Martin with trust about a very sensitive subject, and in that moment he completely disregarded your feelings and spat on it. Someone who says he loves you, no matter what, and then jokes like that is more likely telling himself as a reminder for himself. You just don't make snide jokes like that unless you think it in the first place. WTF. That would be misogynistic and awful no matter the context. And you feeling sensitive about your past makes it worse. NTA. You should have asked him to explain the joke. Cause when he can't explain it without sounding like an absolute sexist's pig, maybe it will finally sink in. You should have returned that ring before getting in the cab. No one gets to make fun of anyone for doing whatever they need to do to provide a roof over their heads. They all sound like the biggest struggle of their lives was a hangnail, and God forbid they find themselves in your situation. He's making fun of what you did to survive. This wasn't a career choice for you. And if he can't acknowledge that, he doesn't deserve you. Also, you should have hit back. That you were taught to never stick small objects in your mouth before you walked out. NTA. NTA. He embarrassed himself by making a joke like that. He just wanted you to play it down so he could continue being gross and sexist with his friend. NTA. Making a joke about your fiance giving your friend a BJ in front of family is not a joke anyone should be making. NTA. Dump him. Talking about pimping you out isn't a joke, it's a fundamental lack of respect for you. You're not being sensitive, and you could be proud of your past as a sex worker, and it still wouldn't make what he and his friends are doing, saying okay. This FYI is exactly why they always have something to say, because Martin not only allows it, her participates. Time to pack your things and go up. Martin is never going to respect you, and you absolutely deserve a partner who respects you. NTA. And I want to point out that if this was supposed to be good banter, it should have been said directly to you. Instead, this hilarious joke was said to your BF, as if he owned you. In his friend's eyes, it's only funny when he's trying to embarrass your boyfriend via tearing you down, asking his permission to use you. It was super sexist and unfunny. And you aren't being too sensitive. This is a shining, golden example of the kind of thing you should sort out before getting married to this twit. Because it isn't going to magically sort itself out on the wedding day. He needs to choose to grow up and choose how seriously he takes you. He can choose how he likes. But you're a damn fool if you get married to him before that choice is made. NTA. I guess. But you need to stand up for yourself. NTA. He doesn't respect you enough to tell his friends to knock it off. NTA. Antonio was wildly inappropriate. and your BF should have shut him down. Instead, he laughed, which suggests that they do it often. BF needs to understand that if you find it offensive, he needs to stop. For what it's worth, I think your reaction was completely justified. Boohoo, you're walking out, embarrassed him. He has only himself to blame. If he continues to devalue your feelings, I hope you can find someone who treats you better. And even though he is wrong to blame you for his stupidity, you might consider some counseling to help you realize that you have nothing to be ashamed of. You did what you had to do for yourself and your family. NTA. Your fiancé sure as though he even used one of the Oz mottos, "It was just a joke." It's only a joke if all parties involved are laughing. He's the one that he needs therapy, that he in any way thought what his so-called friend said was appropriate or funny. NTA. His friend blatantly disrespected you to your face. And he didn't defend you. What happens when you aren't there? TBH. I wouldn't marry him if he keeps Antonio as a friend. And explain that to your future in-laws as well. NTA. You were humiliated by his friend and he's okay with that and you're too sensitive? What if you turned the situation around and said to the friend, "Yeah sure, but I'll have to buy a magnifying glass and tweezers for this to work properly," and said friend was humiliating? Would he tell his friend he was overreacting and too sensitive? This is a huge red flag, location flag. NTA. Ho, look. If it's not the consequences of my own actions, he is gaslighting you. This is a big red flag. Misogynistic and wrong on so many levels. NTA. I cannot imagine any world or situation in which that would have been appropriate. Consider what he would have felt if you had made some kind of joke about his prowess in the bedroom, or inability to perform, or anything else of an extremely personal nature. I completely admire you for your ability to transition out of your former lifestyle and to hold your head up high. Hopefully this is an isolated incident. But if it's not, he's not worthy of you. So fiancé and friend embarrassing you is acceptable. But you walking out and embarrassing him is not acceptable? Nip this behavior in the bud before you marry this man. It won't get better with after the vows if you don't take a stand. Imagine if these jokes were in front of your future children. Premarital counseling would not go amiss here.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.